The stakes are so high. The debate is going to be
I thought we were going to
capital conversation.
Hi, I'm Todd Purdom.
And I'm Dee Dee Myers.
Welcome to another Capital Conversation. With barely a week to go before the election, Dee Dee, the electoral map is not what anyone would have thought it would be a year ago.
But except for perhaps the Obama campaign.
Yeah.
They started talking a year ago about expanding the electoral map, about changing people's expectations and, trying to expand Obama's opportunities to win in states that have traditionally been, or at least in the last couple of cycles, have been steady red.
John McCain is fighting for his life in states that George Bush won 4 years ago.
Right.
Today, NBC political unit crack Chuck Todd moved Colorado and Virginia into the lean Obama column. That means that Senator Obama could win the presidency and still lose Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania, something that's almost unheard of for a Democrat.
Right. In other words, even if John McCain wins Pennsylvania, wins Florida, wins Ohio, he still has to take back one of the lean Obama states,
Nevada,
like Colorado.
Virginia, Colorado.
They have to be bigger than Nevada.
Yeah.
It has to be a relatively big state. So the path to 270 for John McCain is increasingly narrow.
The McCain campaign spent part of the weekend in Iowa, where Obama seems to have a slow double-digit lead in the polls. Why?
Right.
They must think they know something we don't.
Exactly. The same is true of Pennsylvania, where that's obviously traditionally a blue state, but those are two states that, looking at the raft of recent polls, suggest Obama has a almost insurmountable lead, and yet McCain is campaigning there because he doesn't have that many options. Yeah. It comes down to. Now, they're saying they think that there's some more persuadable voters in both of those places than the national polls or the state polls suggest, so they're going to go out and try to get them. But the bottom line is, if they had any other options, they wouldn't be there.
In all trailing campaigns, there's always a finger pointing, and there's some suggestion over the weekend that Governor Palin may be going rogue, protecting her own future political interests, protecting her own interests in 2012.
Right.
Do we see any signs of that?
Yeah, there's been a tremendous amount of reporting on it in the last few days. People suggesting that she thinks she was handled poorly, that she was kept away from the press, and then the expectations that surrounded her early interviews, particularly the one with Katie Couric, were so great that she really, that it became a disaster. And so she's decided that she's going to take back control of her campaign to a certain degree, according to her media reports. And we're seeing a little bit of that. I mean, she's not exactly taking direction from the McCain campaign quite the way they'd like, it seems.
They said the other day she had a defense of her clothing situation, explaining that she likes to thrift shop in Alaska. These weren't really her clothes.
Right.
That was not in the speech the McCain campaign sent to her.
Right. And in the last couple of days, we've seen her refer to the fact, I'm wearing my own clothes. Yeah. So she's sort of taking, that's sort of a metaphor for taking back control of her own campaign.
Just more generally on the state of the race in these last days, is there anything we could expect? I mean, could there be a surprise? There famously was in 1992 when Lawrence Walsh, the special prosecutor, indicted Caspar Weinberger.
Right.
There have been other times when at the very last moment.
In 2004, when Osama bin Laden tape emerged in just the weekend before the election, and John Kerry still believes that may have cost him the election. So it's always possible. I mean, there are 8 days left. This is a campaign that's been shaken up by external and internal events over the course of the last nearly 2 years, and anything is possible. And there could be some external event that changes the shape of the race. Short of that, I think John McCain is in trouble. But you never know, and it ain't over till it's over, and it's going to be an interesting week.
The next 8 days.
Yeah.
Stick with us for another Capital Conversation soon.
We'll see you right back here.